Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dilmer again and welcome back to my channel. So I'm pretty excited today. I'm going to be talking to you about macOS development, in specific for indie games. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I don't think there's a lot of information online about actually uploading a macOS game made with Unity. And that was one of the questions that I had when I first started working on games. I wanted to release games for iOS. I also did it for Google Play, the Apple TV, but I always had the interest for doing macOS games just to see how the store was gonna be doing, if I could generate some extra revenue. So it actually works out really well when you start releasing games for macOS, and the reason for that, people think you're not gonna do well because macOS is not as popular as iOS. But one of the things that I seen is I do get about 20% less of what I get on the iOS App Store, but at the same time that's something that I wouldn't have if I'm not doing that. So one of the things that I recommend people to do is, if you're working on an iOS game, and be thinking about how can you make that game compatible with macOS, and think about like the controls that you're doing. If you're working with touch events, how can you be at the same time working on controls that will work for the for desktop type computers. And it's not that difficult, because I think a lot of times when we're making games, we want to try things. For instance, I want to try things on the editor. So if I'm creating a level and and I have a character, and that character has to move around. Let's say that on a iPhone device, you want to be, you want to press on the screen on a specific area where you want that character to go, but then on the desktop, you want to maybe use the mouse. So when you're thinking about, the controls, the input manager, then be thinking about those kind of things, because those things are important. If you're gonna be releasing a year from now, and it's only going to take you maybe 1 or 2 more days to develop the input control to work with multiple platforms, then I would say do that, because what you're going to get is not only more downloads, but also more exposure for your game. So as a rule of thumb for me is, anything that I'm making right now that I think it's not very specific to touch, I try to make also for macOS. I think macOS is great when it comes to marketing. There's a lot of people that rather play games on macOS than they rather play games on iOS. So there's a big market there that you can attack. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you is, a lot of times specifically when I was dealing with Unity, I couldn't find an easy way to basically sign the bundle, the export that I was getting out of Unity, and there wasn't any documentation from Unity as specific to how to actually upload it to the App Store. And I do have some documentation on that I created on my blog. So if you're curious about that process, let me know. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that information in the description of this video, so that you know what the steps are. How do you export your game? What are some of the options that you need to enable? And I also created a bash script that basically allows you to sign your bundle with your provisioning profile. And once that bundle is signed, it basically creates a DMG and actually a package. And that package is the package that you can upload through the application loader, which then goes into the App Store. So the other thing that I wanted to cover is basically licensing, and that licensing model that I want to talk about is the licensing that Apple provides you. So if you're thinking about going with macOS, it used to be that you have to buy a license for iOS and also a license for macOS. What Apple did recently is they actually combined both, so which is great for you, because you only have to pay one license for iOS, which will basically have you covered with macOS. So licensing wise, if you have an iOS license, then macOS license, it's gonna work. You're gonna be able to create an app ID for a Mac app. You're also gonna be able to create the provisioning profiles that you need, either for development or also distribution. So that's really what I wanted to cover in this video. I'm gonna be sharing the blog in the description, like I was saying. And make sure you read that blog entry because it includes the URL to the bash file, the bash script that I created to sign the export from Unity. And if you have any other questions about this topic, let me know through the comments, and thank you again for watching. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this video and share it to somebody that needs it. Thank you guys.